the things you mentioned is the measuring of metrics and dashboarding. Talk to me about that a little bit because I think this is an area where businesses do a really poor job. Even us, I mean, we do fractional CFO work, and I have actually a new employee starting today who I've hired is just a data analytics person. Like his job is just going to be building dashboards for my clients. What are you finding when you go into businesses, and then what resources are you using to kind of help them be able to measure and see what's going on and are things improving in their business?
The first thing I see is that almost no one tracks any kind of metrics at all, except for, and certainly not in one centralized place, except for revenue if they have a qualified accountant. Although this is totally off topic, but um, always make this is my Jessica's PSA. Always make sure you actually cross check all of your systems with your accounting system to say, did my accountant do it right? Because I've had a bunch of clients who their accounting book said that they had like 30,000 more in revenue than they actually had because the accountant like did the books wrong. And I'm like, just make sure you know what you're actually billing every month. And your accountant's not going to actually know when you're like, that looks like much more than I collected this month. But those are, I mean, that's where it starts. It's like, what are the metrics that matter for my business? I like to call them the roots to fruits metrics. The fruits are revenue, profit, new customers, new engagements, that type of thing. The sprouts, which are what comes before fruits, is the signs that something's working, inquiries, referrals, depending on your marketing strategies, LinkedIn followers, new subscribers to your email marketing, if that's what you use, then seeds. What is the work you're doing that generates new clients? Marketing outreaches, going to networking events, posting, not necessarily posting on social media, but like posting authority pieces and thought pieces and building processes and methodology. And then the roots, which is like the systems and structures that make all that possible. Setting up your CRM system and setting up your task management system and developing, updating your website so it's clear on the point of view and deciding your service models. These are all the things that I have my clients track, but it's all very dependent on like, again, how many clients do you need? What's your business? What's your marketing and sales systems? How are you getting clients? It could be that your clients, your law firm, and you get every one of your clients by going to trade shows or going to conferences. So your marketing, your seeds planted is going to be how many trade shows did I pitch? How many conferences did I pitch? What did I attend? Did it, and maybe a Bruce project is, can I invest in my public speaking skills so I can be a keynote more places? It's all very dependent on the business. I work with a lot of small businesses that don't have to manage cash necessarily, but if you have to really manage cash on a week in, week out basis, do you have metrics for that? The first step is like really just putting them down on paper and saying like, do I even have a source of record for all these things? And then it's the mechanics and the discipline to track it every month. A lot of my people are like, we're just in Google Sheets because we don't have like it's like, oh, you don't have a place to track your new clients because you're not in a CRM system and an invoicing system. Let's get that set up.
I couldn't agree more. So many clients that come in the door, they have their books, right? But they're not, it's got all kinds of errors in it. It's not set up properly. And then even then, they're not looking at it, right? They're not looking at the data because the data is not presented in a way that makes sense. You got to print out a P&L and you got to look at top line revenue, bottom line profit. And even then, like, what does it mean, right? If you made $30,000, is that good or bad? It depends. If your top line revenue is 30 million, it's awful. If your top line revenue is 100,000, it's not bad, right? It's pretty good actually. So, being able to understand that really it requires context and it requires visualization in a way that, QuickBooks isn't going to do that for you. And we need to have a way of presenting that makes more sense. What are the things that you've found that when measured and focused on really move the needle in somebody's business?
For almost every one of my, again, expertise-based clients, it is all about relationships. It's relationships with potential clients, relationships with referral partners, relationships with gatekeepers that can get you visibility opportunities. It's all about relationships. And I think that's where like the podcast we've been talking about is everyone thinks it's like more cold outreach. And maybe there's some of that, but why do cold outreach when you can do warm intros? Like, why go through all the effort to like burn your email domain, in Jessica's point of view, by trying to reach out to people who don't know you when you probably have a lot of people that do? But I think in pursuit of scale, quote unquote, in pursuit of efficiency, we kind of go to like, well, let me just like connect with a bunch of people on LinkedIn and like spam, put them all in like an email automation sequence in LinkedIn DMs. And is that really going to help you get premium clients? Probably not. It's probably going to come from like being known as a specialist in some area and having great SEO and having authority based content and then having people vouch for you.
Yeah, I love that. Relationships are really important, and may not be like depending on the size of your business, right? It may not be the be all and end all way that you get business, but it definitely is a good piece of that engine in every law firm.